Right, I'm gonna go. Hello, everyone. My name is David Kawe, and today I will be speaking about quinceañeras, and what they are, as well as their cultural significance, specifically in the Mexican culture. Now, across cultures, some rituals are made to mark the transition from childhood to adulthood. A quinceañera is a rite of passage for a 15-year-old Mexican girl that signifies that a young woman is ready to join their family in adulthood. Now, I have personally been a part of three different quinceañera courts and have had the opportunity to experience the tradition firsthand, which is why I would like to explain that to you today. Now, to start off, the history of the quinceañera goes back to ancient Mesoamerica and Spanish traditions. In an interview with my mom, Luz Cortez Galwe, I learned that a quinceañera is a young woman's rite of passage from childhood to adulthood. Originally, a quinceañera was how parents introduced their daughters into society and signified that that young woman was ready for marriage and motherhood. Its country of origin can be traced back to modern day Mexico and parts of Central America. And the greatest parts of this tradition is that despite its originally coming from Mexico and Central America, it can now be found all around the world. The tradition of quinces is so deeply entwined with Mexican culture that it finds itself wherever there are people who are willing to celebrate their culture. It doesn't matter the time or day of the year, if you look hard enough, you're bound to find a Mexican teenager celebrating their 15th birthday by surrounding yourself with their culture and its tradition. The artifact that I have today is a tiara from a quinceañera. Now, this tiara was the same one my sister used when she was having her own quinceañera celebration, and she was kind enough to let me borrow it today for the speech. Um, while some families do pass down their tiaras from generation to generation, this specific tiara was not handed down. This artifact is significant to me because I was present and a part of my sister's quinceañera court, and I was able to watch her be crowned with this exact tiara. Now, in an interview with my sister, Miranda Galway, I learned that it is the tradition that the birthday girl starts out her celebration with a smaller and simpler headdress. And when it comes time for her headpiece to be switched to a tiara, um, and when it comes time, that headpiece will be switched to a tiara. The significance of this artifact is in its connection with all the other artifacts that work together as a sign within the culture that a woman is pure and ready for their next stage in life. All kinds of symbols go into quinceañeras to show the transition into womanhood. Things like switching the tiaras, switching switching from flats to heels, and gifting their last doll. These are all incredibly important symbols within the culture, and that is why there's so much significance to this tiara and its meaning within the Mexican culture. The artifact is important to the Mexican culture because of its significance to the continuation of a tradition. And because of that, it continues to thrive in our modern day society. In an interview with my dad, David Gawe, I learned that this traditional rite of passage is important to the Mexican culture as it has continued to be practiced and passed down to future generations. With the crowning of a quinceañera, we are actively passing along the culture with every generation that celebrates the significance of a quinceañera and her 15th birthday. My overall love for this artifact comes from its role in helping me to understand my own culture a bit more. I originally thought that quinceañeras were silly, extravagant birthday parties that were used as an excuse for families just hang around. And while that part may be partially true, there's always the underlying truth that everything going on in the celebration is happening for a reason. I took the time to learn more about the reasons for the changing to a tiara and having a first dance with their daughter or with their father. And this has helped me to enjoy the extravagance behind them and appreciate the significance my culture has brought to make that happen. The quinceañera celebration and its tiara may not be all that significant to the rest of the world. I mean, 15-year-olds don't gain any extra responsibility or benefits from having the quinceañera, but that's not the point. The point of a quinceañera is to celebrate the maturity and new stage of life a woman is entering. And while it may not be significant to the outside world, those who are part of the culture understand and respect the meaning that's behind it all. Now, to conclude the speech, culture is an integral part of all our lives. Although we may not share the same culture, we all respect our own cultures and our own traditions. A quinceañera is the Mexican culture's way of celebrating a woman's coming of age. It has deep and rich roots which date back to ancient Mesoamerican times, and it is in these roots that make the tradition so important. It allows the people of Mexican culture to continue connecting and passing down their traditions in a way that will never let them truly die. It allows the connection with our culture and our people to last through time in a truly special and infinite way. The Mexican culture is full of tradition, but maybe none quite as important nor as memorable as the quinceañera. Thank you.